When you're ready to start, come down to seated on your mat. So you can come down to seated if you have a rolled up mat, blanket or a bolster like I do, with it just resting underneath you long ways so that you're sitting on it in a kneeling position. Or if you prefer, come into seated cross-legged, or if you'd rather be in another seated pose that serves you best, then just come into that pose. So just finding your way into that position. And so just starting the practice by settling into how you're feeling this morning. Just noticing the physical sensations of your body. So we're going to take a practice today to free up the breath, but also to invigorate as a morning practice. In the morning, it's also really nice to stretch, take nice long stretches through our muscles. So we'll be doing a little bit of that as well. And all of that kind of comes together with the other poses. But for now, as by way of freeing up the breath, find the base of your pose, find your connection to the floor, and just notice the way that your body rises up and away. But also really being aware of those connections to the ground and seeing if you can deepen them a little. So whatever pose that you're in, you may need to change it slightly so that you have a greater connection to the floor. Maybe if you're in a seated pose, finding the pose so that you can be really grounded down through a lot of your legs, lots of parts of your legs, rather than maybe just one point. Maybe changing the position of your legs so you can feel a little more connected. Maybe it's more of a position of your pelvis or your belly. And just notice as you breathe, how your breath is this morning. Notice your energy. It's nice to connect with the energy and just see, have you carried anything over from sleep? Any of that strange dream energy? Yes. Carried any of that over with you? And if you have, just starting to let that go. Starting to come into this moment, into this breath. Really noticing physical sensations of your body. How is your body feeling this morning? So we wake it up gently. And if you're in a seated position, or if you're lying down, we're just going to take one glide of our arms up overhead, reaching the fingertips, spreading the fingers, taking a lovely big stretch. Now we're going to reach one side and then the other, so extending through one rib, one side of the waist, and then the other side, just enjoying a little bit of movement through the back. And if you are lying down on the floor, then I'll just get you to slowly make your way up to seated. Now I'm going to make my way over into a seated cross-legged pose, which might be a good pose to start if it works okay for you. And in our seated cross-legged pose, once you get there, let's again reach our hands towards the sky. And then we're going to exhale around and twist. Opposite hand to opposite thigh, other hand touches down behind you. Open across the shoulders as you inhale. And as you exhale, just twisting a little deeper into this pose. But remember, we're really finding the base. So just resting down into the leg that you're twisting away from. Feeling a little stretch through the hip. Staying here for one more breath. And then let's inhale back to center, and we'll stay here in this inhale for an exhale. And we're going to use the inhale to twist around to the other side. Opposite hand touches down to opposite thigh. Other hand touches lightly down behind you. Just open through the shoulders. Get a little figure 8 movement through the head. You know, just moving through your neck. That's it. And noticing that your breath draws you a little deeper into this twist. You're not pulling with your hands, and you're grounding down through the leg that you're twisting away from, finding that connection. Wonderful. Let's come back to center. Reaching those hands, taking a stretch, and we're going to reach them out wide now. So fingertips pressing towards each edge of the room or the mat, rolling your palms towards the front, rolling those palms all the way around, finding the movement through your shoulder joint. And then back around, palms towards the floor. We're going to take figure 8 movements with the hands. So we roll them back, around, forwards, and back. And keep that movement going, that figure 8 movement. We've got a few figure 8 movements within our practice this morning, or circling movements. So this is one of those. And just notice that as you move like this, you are moving quite, there's quite an isolated movement through the shoulder joint. And so because it is early in the morning, but at any time of day, really connecting with how that feels. Does that feel okay to be moving through the shoulder joint like that? Or do you have pain in your shoulder joint? Just notice, connect with that, and modify if you need to. Now from here, we're just going to reach our right arm across, left arm's going to sweep underneath, and we're going to take a little stretch up to the side. Again, just noticing, how's that feeling? Take a couple of circles with your wrists, and then turn your gaze over to the right-hand side, maybe out over your right shoulder. Maybe it doesn't quite get that far, but just taking a stretch through that shoulder joint. Yeah. How does it feel to move that arm ever so lightly, just a very small amount? Just seeing, just noticing. And then release that right arm, bring it back behind you, glide the back of your hand up your spine. Yeah, so that now we have it tucked behind us, and maybe you can reach that left arm up as though you're patting yourself between the shoulder blades, or it might be easier to pat yourself at the back of the head. Now it may be possible to touch your fingers, right? It may even be possible to just clasp that hand a little, but that's not our aim here. Our aim here is just moving the shoulder joint in a different direction. And then we're taking that slow stretch, reaching those arms out. That's it. And we're coming across to the other side. So now we're reaching that left arm across, we're sweeping the right arm underneath, and we're taking a look out towards the left-hand side, just stretching through those shoulder joints, but really aware. Does that feel okay, or does that not? Yeah, maybe you can take little movements with the arm, lubricating the joint. Does that feel okay for you? Gazing out over the left shoulder when you're ready. And then from here, we're going to just glide that right hand, or that left hand, sorry, up the back of the body, back of the hand towards the spine. And the right hand's going to reach behind you, maybe touching towards the back of the head, or the back of your neck. So we're really finding here, if you're like me and one of your arms is tighter than the other, you're acknowledging which side that is, you know, which side is the stable, solid side that supports your flexibility. And so not berating it, it is a stable, solid side that is supporting the flexibility of your other side. We're just finding some balance here. Let's again release those hands, take a little stretch out wide. That's it. Soften those elbows, making little soft shapes. Now our arm movements are going to be a lot about these shapes today. So as you inhale, just reach them up and feel the floating, flowing of your fingers. And as you exhale, soften them down to the lids of the floor, touch them down lightly. Let's take that one more time. As you inhale, just floating those arms up, noticing that floating. As you exhale, touching down. That might connect a little more with if you have any pain through your shoulder joint, acknowledging that, knowing you'll modify. Let's fold forwards over our legs, taking a stretch through the hips. Inhale, extend your crown away from your tail, right? So there's a lifting as though I'm pulling lightly on the top of your head. And then exhale, soften a little deeper into this fold. All the while finding the base of your pose, connecting down towards the earth. Then softening down towards your base first of all, and then any extension away comes from that. right? So that pressing down gives us the ability to rise and lift and deepen. One more breath here. And then rising back up to cross-legged. We're going to change the cross of our legs so that the other leg is to the front. That's it. From this pose here, we're going to sweep our left arm out in front of the face, elbow to the side, palm to the side, and we're just going to put our right arm underneath, and we're going to explore what the shoulder stretch is. Yeah, making little circles. We're not bringing fingertips to palm at the moment. Instead, we're rotating little circles around in one direction. Again, lubricating those shoulder joints, and then rolling the arm around in the other direction, right? So we're making circles with that palm. And then we're coming to the other side. So the other arm out in front of the face, other elbow, hooks under elbow. Remember, we're not trying to get fingertips to palms at the moment. It's a slightly different movement. Instead, we're drawing circles with our hands. You can let that circle, that circling move right down through your body so that now you're moving, twisting slightly at the waist. And then let's roll those hands around the other way. That's it. Release those hands, and again, take a little fold forwards over the knees. Just conscious of that little bit of heat that you've worked up through the shoulders, just through that movement, just through lubricating and moving that joint around. As you fold forwards over your cross legs, if you can be there. It's okay if cross-legged is quite enough of a strong pose for you and you want to stay just there. Otherwise, just settling down into the base of your pose. Really deepening that connection to the earth. And it's from there that maybe you can lift and rise away. And then you exhale and soften. As you inhale, you lift and rise away ever so lightly. And then as you exhale, you deepen and soften. Yeah, but even that lifting away, we maintain that full connection to the earth. Let's move a little further down in the shoulders, right? We're going to come on up to hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we're going to start to move down the back. And to do that, we're going to take circle of eights with our hips, rolling them around in circle of eights. I know sometimes that takes a little bit of thought as to how to create circle of eight movements with your hips. But when you can puzzle through that, just come through it. Now, at the same time as your hips are moving in circle of eights one way, your head is just moving in the other direction. Maybe not in full circles of eight. Sometimes that's a little bit hard to work out, but they're rolling nonetheless. Now, here's the tricky part of the puzzle. We're going to stop that figure eight, and then we're going to roll around the other way. And so now our hips roll around. Think of the figure of eights the other way. And sometimes that in itself can be quite a challenging movement to reverse that figure of eight. And now we're going to roll in circles. Rolling those hips around in circles one way, and then pause and roll them around the other way. Wonderful. We're going to play around with the rotation of our spine in another direction, and that's through our cat and cows. So when you're ready, inhale, lift your gaze, lift your tail. And exhale and coil your tail under, lowering your gaze towards your hands. And again, inhale, lift your gaze, lift your tail. Wonderful. Exhale, coil everything under, just gently waking things up this time. Exhale. So inhale, lifting into cow. That's it. And exhale, coiling into cat. Let's inhale, come to hands and knees. And then exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, just gradually walking your heels one at a time towards the floor. Now in this pose here, if you find that it's a little jarring for your wrists in the morning, just come down into hands and knees. Now we're going to draw one heel at a time down towards the floor, just releasing, 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 releasing. And then find the connection through your hands and your feet so that your down dog is really strongly connected to the earth. Right, I like to take a little waggle of my hips here, just again exploring that motion of the spine, and then come to stillness. As your left side is connected as your right side, what do you need to do to create that?
Are your feet and hands taking some even pressure here through your body? What would you need to do to create that? Press down into the floor, find that connection, and as you do, find that lifting, that rising away. Wonderful. All right, from here, we are going to creep our feet forward to the front of our mats. Now, so creep your feet forwards to the front of your mats and come into your forward fold. Yeah, if you're like me, forward fold feels like quite a powerful pose, particularly early in the morning with that lovely stretch and extension down the spine. Bend your knees enough that your belly is touching your thighs and that the rest of your body is waterfalling down over that. Yeah, so that you release your head, release your arms, and you find this lovely stretch. Kind of stretches up from the mid, from your back of your neck, all the way up between your shoulders, all the way down your spine. Probably feeling that in different places. Our physical experience is quite different. You're going to find yours where your tension rests, and I find mine where my tension rests. And where is your attention going? Is it going to parts of the body that feel a little achy? Is it going to the parts of the body that feel quite good? Let's stay here for another breath. And then from here, we're going to inhale and we're going to reach all the way up to standing. Right, we're unwinding. We're stretching our fingers towards the ceiling. And we're staying here for a breath, finding the power in this pose, the connection down to the earth. Lovely big stretch this morning. And then let's draw those hands down into prayer in front of the heart space. And ground down into the soles of the feet. We're going to take a little rocking movement from side to side. And that goes like this. We rock our weight over into our left big toe, our left little toe, our left heel. Our right big toe, our right little toe, our right heel. One more time either side. Left little toe, left big toe, left little toe, left heel. Right big toe, right little toe, right heel. Ground down evenly, right down into both of the feet. Find that connection. Find that connection. Maybe your body softens and you can just let those hands rest down by your side. Now we're coming through a little vinyasa, right? So come with me through it. Yeah, it might be familiar, it might be new. And as you come through it with me, we're going to come slowly through the first time. And then as we continue, it will be really deeply connected with the breath. After that vinyasa, we're going to move through another one and another one. So we have a few just to really invigorate and lift our energy. As you inhale, step your right foot back into a little short warrior. And it's a little short warrior, right? Let's find ourselves in this pose. And it's short because the step wasn't too long. With your next exhale, just press your left knee forwards over your left ankle. And then as you inhale, glide those hands up. Now, in a short warrior like this, it can be a temptation to press the knee forwards over the ankle. So just be aware of that. Keep it drawing back. The other action that sometimes we have is very straight arms. Remember, we softened our elbows earlier? So we're softening those elbows and we're reaching them up. But we're going to maintain that palms towards each other stance. Now, on your next exhale, soften forwards over that left knee. Keep pressing nice and firmly down into both of the feet, though. We're all about that connection to the floor. All right, let's see if we've still got that connection down into both of the feet, strongly pressing, strongly grounded. And with your next inhale, reach your hands out into airplane mode. Right? Still maintaining that connection to the floor. Did it change a little? Just notice. With your next exhale, sweep your hands up in front of you. Yeah, they can be a little straighter this time, but let's maintain a bit of softness. And then as you inhale, rise up to stand, straighten that left leg. We're going to come back into cactus arms. Right, and in this pose here, again, there's that softness through the arms, through the hands, but they're strong, even though they're soft in their shape. We're still engaging the muscles of our arms. And we're going to take this into a little back bend. And see how that feels. Now from here, you can use a chair, you can use some blocks out in front of you, whatever you need to do as you fold forward over that left leg, exploring the space down the back of that left leg this morning. Yeah, so I'll show you what that looks like with a chair out in front of you. With a chair out in front of you, you can maintain that chair out in front of you the whole time, and then you've got the space to lean on it as you fold forwards over that bed, right? So maybe that's an option for you here. Otherwise, just staying there for a couple more breaths, exploring that pose and fold. Then with your next inhale, glide those hands forwards again, soften that left knee. And as you exhale, step forwards, bringing those hands back down behind you. Inhale, step that left leg back into that little short warrior. That's it. Exhale, soften that right knee forwards, finding that pressure down into the feet, that real connection, right? That's where we're at. Keep breathing because I've started to talk again. So keep that connection down into the feet right throughout. We're really finding that pressure. We're going to inhale and glide those arms up in front of us. They can remain quite soft. That's it. And then we exhale, folding forwards over that right leg without that knee pressing forwards over the ankle. Yeah, over the big toe. Let's inhale, reach those arms out into aeroplane wings. Maintain that pressure even down into your back foot. That's it. Exhale, hands reach back out in front of you. Wonderful. We inhale, we straighten that right leg, we rise up with those cactus arms, drawing them back into that little back bend, but maintaining that even pressure down into the feet. That's it. Let's stay here for a breath so that you can decide whether or not you'll need a chair or something as you exhale and fold forwards over that right leg. We stay here for a breath, enjoying this stretch. And the next time through, we're going to move through it just once with each breath, but this pose here, we're still going to hold. With your next inhale, glide those hands up in front of you, soften that right knee. And then as you exhale, step that left foot forwards. Keep moving. As you inhale, right foot steps back. As you exhale, soften that left knee over the ankle. As you inhale, glide up those hands. As you exhale, soften forwards over your left knee. As you inhale, reach out those hands. As you exhale, reach those hands forward. Seeing if you can stay nice and steady into that left leg. As you inhale, rise up. Still that steadiness coming into cactus arms, little back bend, left leg straightens. And as you exhale, soften forwards over that left leg, supporting yourself how you need to. We stay here for a breath. Really noticing that stretch. Noticing that body. As you next inhale, reaching those hands up, softening that left knee. And as you exhale, stepping that right foot forwards, hands come down. As you inhale, left foot steps back into short warrior. As you exhale, soften that right knee forwards, maintaining that pressure down into the ground, strong through your legs. Inhale, sweep those hands up. Yeah. Your arms might be a little stronger and straight and straighter now. Exhale, fold forwards over that right leg, pressing down into the floor. That's it. Yeah. Inhale, sweep out into those airplane arms. Exhale, reaching those hands back out in front of you. Inhale, cactus arms, straighten that right leg. Wonderful. Exhale, take that fold over the right leg. Stay here for a breath. Inhale, gliding those hands up, softening that right knee. Exhale, stepping that left foot forwards. Let's come through one more cycle. Inhale, step that right foot back. Exhale, soften that left knee forwards, pressing down into the feet, finding that earth. Inhale, let that pressure down into the feet grow up through the body so that you can reach your arms. And allow that connection to strengthen your body as you exhale and fold forwards. And it's still that strength rising up from the floor as you inhale, sweep those hands out wide into aeroplane arms.
It's still that power rising up as you exhale, sweep those hands forwards, staying low down in the pose. And there's still that earth connection as you rise up and come into cactus arms. And as you press forwards over that left leg, taking this stretch, staying here for a full breath. And then as you inhale, softening that left knee, reaching those hands up in front of you. And as you exhale, stepping forward, hands come down. And again, let's inhale, step that left foot back. Exhale, pressing that right foot forwards. Now it's that pressure down into the floor that you're going to use to float your arms. Right, as you inhale, feel that connection, float those arms up high. And as you exhale, keep that strength down into the legs as you fold forwards over your right leg. As you inhale, glide those hands out wide. As you exhale, stay here, deepen the pose, reaching those hands out to the front. As you inhale, rise up, coming into those cactus arms, taking a back bend only if it feels okay. And then as you exhale, folding forwards over that right leg, using a chair if you need to or want to. Staying here for this full breath. And then on the inhale, softening that knee, sweeping those hands, coming up into that lunge pose again, that warrior pose again. Let's step forwards. This time we're going to turn our left toes in, or just turn whichever toes in so you come sideways on your mat. It doesn't matter. Again, there's the option of taking a chair here if you like. Yeah, sometimes in the morning it feels good to take a chair or some blocks, and I can show you that option. We're going to have our toes turned in so that we're a little pigeon-toed. We will come back to some of those strong movements shortly. But for now, we're going to turn those toes in so that we're pigeon-toed. And we're going to bring our hands down. So maybe you rest them on the back of a chair and that's enough for you. Or maybe you have something down on the floor in front of you that you can rest your head on, and that's where you're going with this pose. But wherever you are, it's all good, right? As long as it feels okay for you. Again, finding that connection down into the feet through the floor. Grounding down into the feet. And feeling that as you ground down into the feet, this energy rises up your legs. It frees up your breath. Now imagine you're pressing your feet down into some warm, soft, what can it be that's not too slippy? Spongy grass. Yeah? And so we feel that softness underfoot. So that warm, soft, spongy grass, like beach grass, right? We feel that yielding underneath our feet as we allow that connection to the floor to rise up the legs. And maybe that helps us to deepen our fold a little, maybe not. Heel your heels in. Toe your toes in. Heel your heels in. Bring your elbows to your thighs and just crouch down and squat. Now in this squat, I'm not dropping my hips too far, right? They're staying up. About parallel to the floor, but yours may need to be higher. And I want ankles to be pretty much underneath the knees. Just again, so that I can find that connection of my feet down to the floor. And then I'm going to take my movement of 3 here. And so on the inhale, rise out, reach out into those cactus arms again and explore just that little back bend, but nice and strong through your belly. Pressing down into the soles of the feet, finding that connection. As you exhale, bend those knees, but bring your elbows together and your palms together. That's it. And again, we're going to rise up, reaching out into those cactus arms. Softening that sternum forwards, and then exhale, press down, elbows together, palms together. Get some energy lifted. As you inhale, reach those hands out, coming into a little back bend. Wonderful. And as you exhale, soften back down. Now in this softening back down, we're going to come around. We're going to have the left foot forwards, the right knee down. Yeah. So that left knee is far enough forwards that the right knee just comes a little further back than the hip flexor. It can be really nice to have a rolled up blanket under your right knee, just for cushioning. And we're going to rest our left elbow on top of our left thigh. Now the movement that we're going to take is an opening movement. I just want you to be conscious and aware of how it feels for you. For the exhale, we're going to bring our right hand down towards the inside of the left ankle. And on the inhale, we're going to open out, hand towards the sky, lifting our gaze to it. Lovely stretch through the left groin. On the exhale, again, we're wrapping, bringing that hand down, strong through the waist, through this little twist. And on the inhale, we open. One more time, we're going to exhale, bringing that hand down towards the left inner ankle. And we're going to inhale and open. We're going to explore this opening through the left hip, through the left groin. Yeah, maybe we can lift our gaze a little further towards the hand and reach it. Just check in with how that's feeling for you. One more breath here. And then wrapping that hand again towards the left ankle. We're going to see if we can straighten that left leg here. Yeah, and so we want to glide it forwards a little so that our right knee is still underneath our right hip. And connect with the breath here by way of a wave-like motion. As you inhale, you lift a little. And as you exhale, you fold a little more. As you inhale, you lift a little. As you exhale, you fold a little more. And again, as you inhale, you lift a little. And as you exhale, you fold a little more. Let's stay here in this fold for a few breaths. And then from here, work your way down to seated. And extend your legs out wide. That's it. So we're coming into this wide-legged pose. Just seeing how this feels for us this morning. Is this an okay stretch through the groin? Does it give us a little cramp through the hips? If that transition does, then just stretch that out. But when you're ready, maybe you want to take a little fold forwards over the legs here, taking a stretch through the center of the legs, right? The groin here, the middle parts of the thighs. Yeah. Maybe you feel it somewhere else, depending on where your tensions rest. Let's just stay here for one more breath. And from here, we're going to turn to face the other way. Yeah, so now our right foot is out in front of us. Our left knee is creeping a little further back than the hip joint if possible. And we're resting that right elbow down on top of the right thigh. And again, we're taking that twisting, that wrapping motion, pressing down into the soles of your feet. Find that connection there. We're going to reach that left hand down on an exhale towards the ankle. And then as we inhale, open up, reaching that left hand back behind you, lifting your gaze to it. As you exhale, bringing that left hand down towards the ankle, maybe it's a little higher, maybe it's the inside of your knee. As you inhale, reaching out, reaching your hand towards the sky, lifting your gaze to it. Now again, we're going to exhale, bring that hand down towards the ankle. And this time as we inhale and reach that hand, we know we're going to maintain this pose. It's really easy in this pose, or it can happen that you collapse down into that right leg because of the action of leaning the elbow. Now, if that's happening to you, I want you to consciously lighten that connection elbow to your thigh. And as you do, you find that you press a little more down into the feet, into the knee, you find that connection to the earth again. Remember about that, right? Maybe from that, you're able to reach a little further, find a little bit more stretch and power. Maybe, maybe not. That's it. And then from here, we're going to glide forwards again. We're going to straighten that right leg. The left knee glides back just underneath the hip. Sometimes that creates quite a bit of pressure through your knee. If it is for you, remember, put a blanket, put a cushion under there. If it still does, don't take it. As you exhale, softening down over your leg. And as you inhale, there's that wave like lifting up and away. Again, as you exhale, we're softening down over the leg, not pushing, just softening. As you inhale, there's that lifting, rising away. And again, as you exhale, softening down over the leg. And as you inhale, lifting and rising away. Wonderful. One more time. Yeah, let's exhale and soften, and let's stay here for a few breaths, just enjoying this hold. Noticing where our tensions are. Noticing the pressure of your body down towards the floor. Connected and supported in this pose. Now from here, rather than coming sideways, we're going to bend that knee. We're going to lift that left knee, and we're going to step forward so that we're in forward fold near the front of our mat, wherever that is for you. Softening down over the legs again, and then swan dive and rise up to stand. Let those hands come down beside you. From here, we're going to give our legs a little shake out. Yeah, we're going to give them a real wobble. Just getting everything feeling a little more even through the legs. And shake out the rest of your body. That's it. Now for our tree pose today, or for our balance pose today, we're going to take our walking tree, which is a really quite a supportive pose for supporting the balance. So come with me through it. Now it starts off with a lifting. Let's rock over into our left leg, round down into that foot. Yeah, find yourself in that pose. How's that connection to the floor? Can you really find that connection to the floor, that yielding down into the ground? And again, imagine that that foot is pressing down into soft grass. It has that yielding, that softening away from your foot. But as you connect, you can really find that there is strength underneath that softness. We're going to lift up our right leg, and we're going to press it across so that it's in a little Shiva's dance pose. Great, give your feet a little roll. And then left hand comes across so that our wrist is resting over our ankle. Yeah, so now we've got a little Shivas here. And that right hand reaches back behind us. Because we're going to step. And we're going to step that right leg back and that right arm forwards. That left arm reaches back, right? So we're in a step. Now with your exhale, bring that foot forwards again. Right arm reaches back, bringing your left wrist over your ankle. As you inhale, sweeping that right hand forwards, that right leg back. That's it. And as you exhale, changing that step into your Shiva pose. Let's take it one more time. Inhale, reach. Wonderful. Exhale, back. Now this time on the exhale, can you take hold of that foot, pop it in towards your inner thigh, and just bring that right arm forwards. We're going to reach that right arm away, or that left arm away. And then we're going to reach that right arm away, so that we're finding the branches of our tree. Can you slightly soften and reach out through the branches of your tree? Right? So that you're strong and powerful. But there's also a softness and a fullness to your body. So that you're honoring your fruitful abundance. Right? Because we're holding the fruit up in our branches. And so we're holding them lightly and gently, but powerfully and strong, because we can do both. That's it. All the while aware of the connection of your left foot to the ground. Can you feel that connection? Deepening that connection. And perhaps by deepening that connection, deepen your breath. Let's come back to standing. Not going to shake out the legs just yet. Instead, we're going to rock our weight over into our right foot. And we're going to pick up our left leg and bring it across the body like a little Shiva. Take a couple of circles with your ankle. And then bring your right arm across and bring your wrist just over your left ankle. That's it. We're going to sweep that left arm back. And then we're going to start our Shiva's walk. We're going to reach that left leg back, that left arm forwards. Right arm comes back. Hey, on the exhale, let's come back. So when you're ready to exhale, bring that foot back into your step. Yeah. And then when you inhale, let's take that reaching step. And left arm forwards, left leg back. As you exhale, bringing that back to Shiva's step. Yeah. As you inhale, reach that left arm, that left leg. Wonderful. As you exhale, glide it back. This time, let's take hold of that foot and bring it into tree pose. Yeah. Let's see if we can reach that right arm away. And then that left arm away. And let's support our branches. Supporting all of nature that sits within these branches. Supporting the fruit and the abundance of you. And supporting that with power, with strength, but with a little softness. So that we're not fiery and fierce, right? We're soft, we're supportive, but we are powerful and strong. But notice as well that down into your right foot, there is that deep connection to the earth. You feel rooted to the ground like a tree. As though the power of the earth is rising up through you, all the way up to your branches. Because it is, right? You're energized by the earth. You're part of nature. You are like the mighty tree. And when we enter a forest, all of the trees are a little different. But we appreciate all of their differences. That's it. Let's lower that foot back down to the floor and just lower those hands and notice. Notice again that connection of your feet to the ground. Now from our tree pose, we're going to come on down to the floor. We're going to come into a kneeling position. And from that kneeling position, come down to seated. Bring those legs out in front of you. And from here, just roll on down to the ground and onto your back. Soles of your feet down on the floor. Now, ankles are pretty much under your knees. Now, to achieve that, sometimes we give that cue of can you touch your heels, but that's really going to depend on how long your fingers are. Can help with that as well, right? And so really, I can't touch my heels unless I'm really pulling my shoulders down. But my feet feel like they're in a good position to me. And to find that, I'm going to make sure that I can press down into my heels, but that I can also press down nice and strongly into the balls of my feet. So I have that connection right across my feet. And then with an inhale, just coil your tail under and then continue to lift your hips towards the ceiling. So there's a rolling that's happening there. Now, as I come up, I feel the need to adjust my feet ever so slightly. And that's where I'm going to keep them. As you exhale, keep that tail coiled under lightly and roll down towards the floor. So that tail has that little coiled under shape through this pose. As you inhale, there's that little tuck of the tail that rolls up off the floor first, and then we roll up through the vertebra. Nice even pressure down into the back of your head. As you exhale, rolling back down towards the floor. Now all the way down, belly nice and strong to see if you can minimize the curve of your low back. And you do that. As you inhale, pulling that tail under, seeing if you can lift the vertebra up one by one, yeah, or close to it. And then as you exhale again, if you're strong through the belly, lift it through the pelvic floor. Can you feel that kind of roll down towards the ground? Let's take it again. As you inhale, coiling everything up, lifting that pelvic floor, drawing that belly nice and strong. As you exhale, coil back down. One more time, right? Really conscious now. Coiling that tail under, strong through your pelvic floor, lifted through your belly, lifting up. And then exhale and coiling back down towards the ground. Let's bring those knees towards our bellies, give them a little hug, and take a little rock from side to side. Find that wonderful connection of the back of your body to the floor. The way that it lets the muscles of your face soften and draw down towards the ground. Yeah. And from here, we're going to make circles with our knees. We're going to keep just moving and then bring up through the hip joints. Getting those joints lubricated this morning, and then rolling around the other way. That's it. Now hold on to your left knee. Give it a squeeze towards you and reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, slowly lower that right leg down towards the floor. Keep hold of that left knee. We're going to float that right leg off the ground. As you do, stay here for a breath and just notice that if with the exhale, it might be that you can really feel the strength through that right leg, the lifting through your pelvic floor and a real connection of your body to the earth. Can you maintain that as well with your inhale? And with your next exhale, reach that leg back towards the ceiling. With your inhale, hug it in towards you. And on the exhale, lift that left leg and lower it down towards the floor. Yeah, now it might take a couple of breaths to lower it down towards. It's all good, but those breaths are conscious and we're floating it off the ground once it's there. And you're exploring that with your next exhale, maybe with the lift of your pelvic floor, maybe with the power through your belly, you can connect a little more deeply to the ground. And maybe you can maintain that connection with your inhale. Yeah. And then let's exhale and bring that leg back up. We're going to bend that knee, hug it in towards us. If you can, reach in between your legs and take hold of your big toes. Now, if that's not possible, then a couple of straps or long socks is quite good, or just hold on to the back of your knees. Yeah. From here, we're going to play around with extending one leg and then the other. Now let's stay here for a couple of breaths. It's a nice stretch wherever you are in it, even if you're holding behind the back of your knees and your legs are still soft, right? You're feeling that compression through your hips. Even if you're holding the back of your knees as you start to straighten your legs, you need to be holding onto your feet. That's a hard ask in the morning. Let's bend that first knee and then the second. Now my elbows come to the inside of my knees because I'm holding onto my toes. But if you're holding onto your knees, they might come to the outside. We're starting with the other side now, extending the leg. That's my left leg first this time. And then extending the right leg. Again, it's okay if you're holding the back of your legs, just exploring how that's going for you. And then bending that first leg and then the second leg. Yeah. Take a little rock from side to side. Now we're going to prepare for our Shavasana. So have a blanket if you want one. Put on your socks if you need, or if you want, like me and you're chilly and you're outside. A really lovely option for your Shavasana is to have a rolled up blanket underneath the backs of your knees and maybe a little cushioning under the back of your head. So when you're ready, just get yourself prepared, right? So it would be low cushioning under the back of your head if you've got it lower than the back of your knees, really. We're going to roll over onto our side to come down to the floor, and then we're going to settle down into our Shavasana. Get comfy. Hands down beside you. Now just setting up the pose, so we're coiling our tail under a little, and that minimizes the curve of our low back. We draw our shoulder blades ever so lightly towards each other, just so that we can find the flat surfaces of our shoulders. Palms towards the ceiling is a lovely option. Relax those feet, tuck that chin lightly, and then let it go.
Now, some of those movements we just talked may have created tension. If that happened for you, I want you to spend some time now releasing that tension, finding yourself in a comfortable space. And your eyes are closed. And you're aware of any sounds around you, knowing that you can just let them be. You can take this bit of time for you. But just noticing them. Noticing the way that your physical body rests down on the earth. So aware of that connection of your body to the ground. Is it possible to deepen that connection a little? Are there still parts of your body lifting and rising away from the earth that perhaps don't need to? That you can soften and relax back down to the ground? Notice the sensation of the air at the end of your nose as you breathe. Particularly on the inhale where the air feels of its natural temperature outside. And then as you exhale, your breath is warmed to the temperature of your body. So it feels a little different. So just noticing as you inhale that little chill of the temperature of the air around you. And that as you exhale, noticing that the breath is warmed to the temperature of your body. And it's deepening your connection to the earth a little more, softening a little more completely. Knowing that with each inhale, you're nourishing and nurturing the body. And that with each exhale, you can release anything that doesn't serve you out into the world. You can let go. And with each breath, you feel the gentle movement of your body. But each breath serves to connect you a little more deeply to the earth, more completely. You're able to soften and release and let go of any holding, of any tension. And so you release and you relax and you soften the muscles of your body. And you soften your attention, your awareness. You soften and release a little more with each breath as you surrender to Shavasana. And with your next inhale, just feeling the rising of your energy. Lifting of your consciousness, so that maybe you become aware of the sounds around you.
And so that maybe like me, you can hear the sounds of nature, birds. Maybe it's the soft hum of traffic, of children. Whatever it is, you notice it, you're aware of it. And then when you're ready from here, building that awareness a little more, building that energy a little more. Maybe taking a stretch or a yawn. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto your side. And from your side, pressing yourself up into a seated position. And again, in the seated position, just be aware of your connection to the earth. Find that connection, that grounding. Knowing that that connection to the earth, that grounding down, that yield, actually frees up the breath more than placing attention on the breath would. And so using that within your practice to deepen your breath. Now when you're ready with me, let's take a big sigh in and inhale through the nose and a sigh out through the mouth to finish. And you can move your arms or you can keep them steady, whatever serves you best today. When you're ready, join me. Namaste.